Hey, Pepin.
Yo, yo.
I've been thinking a lot lately about some of the stuff that we used to do, like in high school.
I mean, we never had sex.
No, not stuff like that. Stuff like creations.
Oh yeah, we used to like come together and make things.
Yeah, we'd make all sorts of different animations and other art projects. A lot of fun stuff.
Yeah, music sometimes. A lot of different really weird things.
Absolutely.
Definitely kind of out there. Yeah, very interesting.
I think that's something that other people would enjoy to hear about. Some of the stuff that we did, and some of it's pretty ridiculous.
I agree. I think we need to talk.
Welcome back. So glad you guys could join us. I am here once again with my best friend Nathan. Pepin, how's it going, Pepin?
Yo, I'm doing well. How about you, Steve?
I'm doing outstanding. Thank you so much for asking. I was thinking a lot about the Muffler game recently.
The muffler game?
Yeah, the space shooter you made called the Muffler game.
Oh, yep. That was good.
Tell the folks about that.
So, people might remember Flash back in the day. Flash isn't too much of a thing now, but back in the day, like Flash was all on our computers. So I used to just kind of, I was curious, so I was just checked out all the programs on the computer, and I saw Flash. So I started just making stuff with it, and I realized you could make a game for it. So I found a tutorial online on how to make a shooter game, and essentially followed it and kind of did some of my own stuff with it. And what I made was a pretty simple space shooter. It was just like one level essentially, but you just kind of went around shooting things, and there's a boss at the end, and it was all pretty interesting. I think it's kind of cool. But one of the enemies, I guess, looked like a muffler.
Yeah, I think a lot of them looked like car parts. They were pretty crude. One of them definitely looked like a muffler. So, did you post that on a website? Like, there was a web link to it, correct?
Yeah, so
That's how people accessed it.
So this is where it's kind of cool. So our school tried to support technology a decent amount. I mean, more than other schools, I think. So they taught us how to create websites, and not very well. But I've always been kind of techie, so I made my own website with like a template. Actually, I used a template, and then I kind of modified it to meet my own needs. And so I posted the game on my website as well as other things. And this was hosted by the school. And then what I ended up doing is buying my own domain name. So I had like pepinstuff.com.
Oh my God, pepinstuff.com. I remember now.
Yep. And it was kind of cool because on that domain, people would go to it, and I had a couple games on there. So I had a tic-tac-toe game I made, which was unbeatable. Now the game wasn't perfect. I posted it on Face Punch, and a few people managed to technically beat it, but the game said they didn't win. So technically, it was still unbeatable. There's a better way to make that game, because what I did is I made out every combination for tic-tac-toe and how to handle it. But the issue I had with it was there's a better way to do it, because there's symmetries with tic-tac-toe. Like, if you're the right corner here, or the left corner, or the down left and down right, those are all kind of the same moves. They're all symmetrical. But I couldn't figure out in my high school brain how to do that. I tried to. So what I did is I had a different tree for the right corner, for top right, top left, and so on and so forth. So it's like it wasn't perfect because I just messed up in the code somewhere, and tried to test as much as I could. But I had a couple other games in there too. Nothing too exciting, but I also did animations.
The muffler. So people would and when you said people could go to the website, the thing is, people did go to the website. It became a huge hit in our school. People would go to pepinstuff.com and try and get the high score in the muffler game, and everyone. I don't remember what you called it. It was just like space game or something.
Yeah.
But everybody knew of the game in the whole school, and they all called it the muffler game. And it was I don't think you liked that they called it the muffler game, which of course perpetuated people to call it the muffler game even more. But it became like a sensation.
I didn't care that people called it the muffler game per se. There's one person I didn't like that called it. That was Ricky. And Ricky didn't like me, which was fine. it's one of those things where like when someone's trying to someone feels insecure and have to put someone down, so they it's like, oh, it's the Muffer game. Muffer game. And it's just kind of like I didn't even give him a reaction to that for the most part, because I never talked to him because I didn't want to talk to him. He's just kind of, I don't know, dumb.
Okay.
So it's I didn't like that name, but it's mostly because he was just being like really snidey. But if other people called it that, then whatever.
Tons of people played this game to the point people started playing it during class, and at one point they blocked it. The school servers, the admin went in and blocked your game.
Wait, this is all stuff I wasn't aware of until like you told me
Like, what an honor.
later on.
What an honor that is to be censored.
Yeah, it's kind of cool. I mean, I think back then I was kind of much more aloof than I am now, because like nowadays, it's like, oh hey, that's kind of cool, that's kind of nice. Like I feel like like yeah, but back then I was like, people are playing my game, I'm not making the game for them.
It was actually a really fun game, and you ended up doing a couple of different versions of it. You continued to improve it, and it was actually a really well done game for what it was, for somebody in high school using self-taught Flash to do it. You were better at Flash than anybody else in the school, including all of the teachers.
Yeah, it's kind of the thing. Like, I don't know why, but I had a natural inclination for it, and I think if I pushed it further, I could have done some more things with it. I did some interesting things. Like I did some school projects with it, and I think the school projects were the best projects ever done at that school. Like, okay, I'm being very like pompous there, but I mean legit though. I mean, like I had like really nice drawings. I was really into drawing at this point, so I got really good at animation and drawing. Okay, maybe Animal Farm Project was not like the best.
That was a real good one.
I mean, it was kind of funny.
I liked the Animal Farm one.
But I started doing them for like I did a science one, and it had like fungi and like these little things, and it was actually like really good project and really informative. And I don't know, like Flash is actually a very good medium. Like people criticize it a lot, but I think it's pretty decent.
You taught me like a ton of Flash. I remember you mentioned that the website thing, and that the school had a class that actually taught how to make a website. And I remember doing that, and I had already known how because you had taught me, and I had learned from you. So I had finished the project, the final project, like the first day of class, and I had built an entire website about the Boston Bruins, and specifically their goalie at the time, Steve Shields. And like it blew the professor's mind, and I'm like, I mean, I just learned everything from Nathan.
It was really kind of funny about that is, so there's a website class, but there's also a class on how to make animations using Flash. And I
took that easy A.
I didn't do either class.
I did both, and I took easy A's in both because I already knew how. I was using like keyframes appropriately, and like motion tweens, and actually like animating. And there was another guy who sat next to me in class, and he would copy the keyframe over to the next instance, like one frame over, and reanimate it so it was just a little different. So he went and he had a series of only keyframes. For every frame was a different keyframe, like old school animation, and that's how he animated. His honestly looked way smoother than mine, but mine took like one day, and his took the entire semester.
Yep. It's kind of the thing with animation too. Like, so Flash animation changed a lot of things because it made things super reusable. I mean, you could say like classic animation was very reusable. So like they use backgrounds, reuse them all the time. They use the same character models all the time. But everything was kind of drawn like again and again. Whereas with Flash animation, and you can see this a lot of Flash animation, and there's Flash animation that doesn't do this, but a lot of it is more that you get like a character model, and you have like the arm separated from, top arm, bottom arm, hand, torso, head, and you move those things independently, almost like a puppet. It's more like puppeteering than it is like hand-drawn type stuff. And that's what I specialized in. That's what I did a lot of. And later on, I did more of the kind of what you're talking about with the hand-drawn style. But it's like it saves a lot of time.
I remember my project for that class. What did they call that class? Shit. Oh, I can't remember. It was something real dumb that didn't really encompass what the class was. But anyway, so for that class, my project was the story of SpongeBob, who was shipwrecked on an island or an airplane crashed or something.
Yep.
And he's walking around, and then he sees wiggling in the bushes, and you hear, and then he opens up the bushes, and it's like Quagmire and from Family Guy, and I think Patrick Star, and they're like playing chess or something. It was like absurdly suggestive. It was like really suggestive, where it was, I think you hear like Quagmire going giggity giggity goo and stuff like that from in it. So it was like, I don't know how it passed, but the teacher fucking loved it. She used it the next semester as the example of what you can do with Flash in the course of the semester. And it was all because of stuff that you had taught me.
Was that Miss Sun?
Yeah, Miss Soon.
Miss Soon?
It was spelled Sun, but
yeah,
she always pronounced it Soon.
It's kind of interesting because it's like she when she learned about me, she was like oh geez. She's like, oh god, okay, maybe you should be teaching in class.
And like she taught how to do buttons and all of that. She had given us a syllabus of here's all the things we're gonna do, and I did all of them like in the first week of the semester, and was done with the entire syllabus like right away.
That's right. Didn't you? I think I remember this. Didn't you like make like a windmill animation, and like she was just like amazed by it?
That sounds accurate.
Yeah, like she's like, how did you do that?
I did like the simple. I did the whole syllabus, and then I didn't show up to class for like several classes, and she never cared.
That's
like
amazing.
she let me leave class because she's like, you already know all this shit. There's nothing more I can teach you. Which was a lot of fun.
Yeah, she's a good. I mean, I'm not gonna say she's a good teacher because I never like actually got taught by her. She was my teacher for a class, but it was like a networking class.
Yeah.
So we did like online training, and she just kind of like was there.
I learned all of that stuff from you, and especially like tweens and motion tweens, shape tweens, like all of those things, because you had been using them for a lot of projects, but on a side project that had nothing to do with school. We've talked about it before. The Adventures of Arnaldo and Geraldo. Nathan, what was your inspiration for Arnaldo and Geraldo?
Hey Arnold.
It was definitely Hey Arnold.
Essentially just copied the characters.
They're the exact same characters. Except they all have your voice.
Okay, so
It has nothing to do with Hey Arnold.
Yeah, this I copied how the characters look, but they're not.
Pokemon, that's baby stuff. I play Yu-Gi-Oh!
Okay. So, I don't know why I thought to do this. So, essentially, there's Arnold, or Arnaldo, and he's just essentially me, I guess. And then Geraldo's just black me.
Okay.
Like, it was just me with a lower voice.
And they look like Arnold, Hey Arnold, and Gerald, from his best friend in the show.
Yep. And so the first episode, it's like Arnaldo throws the ball to Geraldo, and he's like, oh, it's over there, go get it. And Geraldo's like, okay. And he starts like walking over, and then poof, a car hits him. And that's the end of the episode.
Well, tell me more about the story arc. I forget the episodes.
Uh,
I remember there's one where he's in the hospital.
Yep. So there's episode... I forget what episode 2 is, but there's...
Probably something pretty similar to the car.
Yeah. Most notable episodes are episode, I think, 4. And episode 4 is when... What is it? Arnaldo stopped eating. Mm-hmm. And I think it's because I was not eating for wrestling, so...
Art imitates life.
Yeah. And so Geraldo decides to get him, working out and kind of buff. And so there's this whole training montage, and he, climbs up these stairs, and it's the worst animation you've ever seen.
The steps happen, but he's gliding at the same time. So like the steps don't go with the stairs at all.
And this is where it's kind of funny. So the animation is bad. Some of it's like all right, but then some of it's bad, but it's purposely bad. So like the stairs, I couldn't get to work out, so I just made it look like that, and that was made me even funnier. And it's like that episode got pretty popular. It was pretty funny. The other one that was like really popular was the Pokemon one. So it's like I've been watching a lot of a Yu-Gi-Oh Bridge at this point. So there's some jokes I copied from that, like I'm gonna beat you at a children's card game, and essentially Arnaldo has a Pokemon battle with Geraldo, and not the Dragon of a Million Rainbows.
Oh yeah.
That's right. He faces off against what was it? Arnaldo plays a dragon, and it's the Dragon of a Million Rainbows. And he defeats Geraldo.
Oh yeah. No. Yeah. No.
How's this work?
I think so. Geraldo. I think it might have also been inspired by that time I played Magic the Gathering in high school. Geraldo like draws a card, and it's the best card in the whole game, and he lays it down, and it's like the Dragon of a Million Rainbows. And then like Arnaldo's like, this game's dumb, draws a card, puts it down, it's like some stupid card, and he's like, I win. Like,
that's right. That's
over
right.
Instantly.
That's right, because you had that story about beating someone who's like super into it.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh yeah.
Someone was like, oh, you're so fucked, and laid down like a bunch of mana cards and a bunch of monsters and shit. And then in like one card, I'm like, I don't know what I just did, but I just won.
Oh god. And then we had an episode where, oh my god, this episode was really good. So it's what was it? So
The Kumquats?
yeah. How did that even?
Adolf Hitler.
How did that become a thing?
What do you mean?
So the intro of that, where it's like bad boys, and they're like looking through people's.
They needed to stop the Kumquats.
That's right. Oh my god, that was amazing. That's the dumbest joke I've ever made, but it's the best joke.
Really bad.
It's so good.
We've been like teasing the audience now because these are amazing. Do they exist somewhere?
There's a couple on Newgrounds.
There's like one or two. I know the Kumquat one's on Newgrounds.
I think I'm gonna put these online. I mean,
do they exist on a hard drive somewhere?
Yes.
So you could put them all on YouTube, which is what you definitely need to do.
Yeah. Well, apparently you had them playing on the University Network.
Yeah. That's right. So when we went to college, I got a job at the University of Maine's television station, and I got all of these animations put on the television station. It was closed circuit, so it was only on campus. But every television on campus had this channel, and it was like one of two channels that existed. So everybody turned it on. It was called the main channel, and these animations would run on that channel. And I can just imagine somebody at 1 a.m, unable to sleep, turning on their television and watching the adventures of Ronaldo and Geraldo. Somewhere out there, this is somebody's fever dream. Did that really exist?
So what's really funny is was that the guy next door to us? I think his name was Jamie. He like was talking about how he loved those animations and stuff, and he's like, yeah, watch it on there. And then you told him that I made the animations, and he did not believe you. He's like, no, we didn't.
No, how'd they get on TV? I put them there.
What was funny about that is, I've never like been one to publish my own work, like put it out there, but you put it out there for me, so it's like, okay.
They got to go on YouTube so I can help promote them, because the world needs to see the adventures of Ronaldo and Geraldo.
Yeah, we did some funny projects together too. There's the Animal Farm one, which was we talked about that a little bit in that episode.
I got a great grade. You failed.
Yep,
it was great.
But there's also a suicide prevention one.
That one had Kaya in it.
Yep. And so Kaya is this like overly religious girl, and she's like super. I liked her. She was pretty cool, but she's also just super religious. That's the only way to put her, right? But.
Were you guys like bitchy?
No.
Says yes.
So what was the thing about? Oh yeah, that's right. Someone's getting this is about anti-violence. It wasn't about suicide prevention. It was supposed to be about suicide prevention, but we did it against violence.
Okay.
So someone tries to mug Jeremy. I had like all these South Park characters of people in the school, and so Jeremy was one of the characters, and it looked like Jeremy. And
Didn't you do the dean too?
Yep.
And she saw the animation and fucking loved it.
Yep. But anyway, so John Waltz is drunk in the animation. Which is so bad.
So you made a student drunk in the animation, a known alcoholic student, and the teachers fucking loved it.
Yes, and so he's beating up Jeremy, and Jeremy's Irish, and I have a line in there like, "Oh no, he's gonna wrestle me, Lucky Charms." And then Kai comes down from the heavens, and, like, spotlight. Stop!
No, I remember.
And to take John Waltz to to prison or something like that, and it's like, why was this accepted? But I think you know about this. So initially the thing was suicide prevention.
Okay.
And I started doing the project for that.
Oh yeah, it was too dark.
It was too dark.
I remember you saying I had to change it. It was too dark.
Well, because I had this. So this was supposed to be the teaser for it, right? And it had it fully animated. And I showed it to Kaya, and she loved it. She was in love with this thing and wanted me to show everybody. But I refused to. Because essentially, so the South Park version of Kaya took a gun, put it up to her head, blew her brains out.
Holy shit, dude. Oh my god. That's fucked.
But I think the thing was that, like, that was just the teaser. Like, she didn't actually pull her brains out. That's just like in our mind or something.
Is that why she came from the heavens?
Oh, damn it. Now there's like a whole mythos.
Now there's a whole mythos about the pre-story.
But we had the whole animation with Counter-Strike, right?
Yeah.
And
Yep, you did that.
did you play into it though?
I don't think I did much on that one. If anything, I might have done a voice, but I don't think so. That was Nick McCrossan.
Yeah, so Nick McCrossan was super into like Counter-Strike and is way too into it. Like he always talked about it constantly. And I think he played 1.6, right?
He did play quite a bit. He started 1.6 for sure.
And so he's super into it, but we have this whole... I mean, the plot was kind of dumb initially because it's like they're at a store and he's trying to get Counter-Strike 1.7 or something. And there's a whole like flashback thing, or it's like a dream sequence. And he's in the game and he like goes to defuse the bomb and he's like, oh, there's no terrorists around. This is great. And then he gets shot to death.
Then they all pop up, yeah.
Yeah, flashbang, they're all there, and then boom, like that's the animation. Just I don't want to animate them kind of popping up, but so yeah, he's just boom, and then they all shoot him to death. And I didn't think too much of that. That could be misconstrued now, but there's a teacher, Mr. Jost, who saw it, and he died of laughter. He told me to play it again and again and again. I don't know if he didn't like Nick or what exactly, but he thought it was the funniest thing.
It was really funny, though.
And in context, that animation wasn't bad. I mean, the one of Kaya shooting herself, that one's bad. This one is in context to a video game.
Yeah.
So it's not bad in my opinion. Yeah. But it gave me...
Oh my god, and you had Ben following Jeremy around
with like a bottle of Bengay suggestively popping out. They're always holding hands too.
Didn't you set, I think you made like one screen that looped. It was like 15 or 30 seconds, and it was all of the characters, and they were doing different things. John Waltz would walk around and fall down because he was drunk.
Yeah.
I think Jeremy like flew by. No, somebody flew through the air. But everybody was doing something. The dean had her walkie-talkie, and it would go off every once in a while.
Yeah,
something like that.
Tim Myshat was smoking a joint.
We're like 16, 17 years old.
It's
you have him obviously smoking a joint.
It's so bad.
His eyes are fucking blaze red. And you put those as like, or maybe I did, as like the screensaver for tons of computers
You
all
did
through
that?
the pod.
Oh,
I definitely did.
Oh God.
And the dean saw it, and I was like, so worried she's gonna be mad, and she was like laughing about it. I'm like, this is amazing. Why is this school so chill?
See, what's weird though is that was just our pod, I think, because there was some teacher that came from another pod. I don't know why she was passing by and she saw me like doing animation, and it wasn't actually related to anything with that. It was like there's no students in that one, thank God. But she got super concerned and she starts like lecturing me about stuff. And if she saw any of these, she would have like had my ass like suspended.
And then you did the Bagel Monster,
We hit the Bagel Monster, which is pretty
which
good.
features Jeremy very prevalently.
Yep, and
An awful Irish accent you do. Top of the muffin to you.
see, we talked about this before. Like our past selves were much more dickish.
Mm-hmm.
Past me was definitely more dickish because the Bagel Monster was a metaphor for a fellow student who was rather large, and she ate about 10 bagels a day.
It was probably like 2 or 3.
But we called her the Bagel Monster, and she ate Jeremy.
Oh my God, she did.
No, actually, Jeremy survived. She ate Ben Gay.
Because the whole thing fell down, the whole building.
Yeah, actually, we did that one together, didn't we? I remember we did some of the sound effects. Like
I might have done some sound effects. I was never any part of any of the animation. That was always you until college when I did a tiny bit of the drawing, but that was it.
yeah, we'll have to get to that one in a second. We're still in high school right now. My God.
Yeah, we did. I mean, we did a ton of projects together.
Yeah.
Shit. I think we're going a bit too long, and I think we're going to have to say, until next time, we need to talk? Yes, we're going to talk.
This is Supernaut.
This is Forrest. This is Nate.
This is Unqualified Networks. Unqualified, unprepared,
And unafraid to say what we think.
You can find more at podcastnh.com.